Hello, g'day, good morning, good evening. Thanks for listening. This is the Medical Cannabis Show. I respect the law and I hope you do too. There is no topic today, so I hope the cool folk in chat can bring a topic and we can start some good discussion. And say g'day to Mace. Nice to see you, Mace. How you going? How you going, Shipwreck? Nice to see you. Fred's in the house. And I'll wait the usual bit until 2 minutes. So if you're rewatching this back, you can skip a bit, 5 or 10 minutes into the show, or when slides start, and that's when there'll be some discussion. And if the show's only gone for about 10 minutes, it's because there was no real topic today. So I'll see how it goes. So I'll wait till 2 minutes, another 50 seconds, and I'll think about something to say. Unless you cool folk in chat can got some we can discuss, whack it in now so I can read it, please. There's about a 30-second delay usually. Yeah, still got 30 seconds. Excuse me. All right, 10 seconds to go till the 2 minute mark. Then I can start talking about something. And in that time too, Genetic Memory Farms, welcome. Shipwreck says, I really wish I still had the DB2, but had a water issue. Lost a 20-year-old cut as well. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's really bad. We're just talking about that. And Pink DB, how nice it is before. Cheers. Yes. G'day, GMF. So I don't have anything to discuss. So if you've got anything to discuss, please write it in the chat. We can start a show, or it might be a short show. I've had a short show in a while. And a couple of long ones, that's for sure. I got a few key points of interest that I like, and if questions go down that route, I tend to thoroughly discuss it. So it's not sure what to say. I haven't got anything organised, and there's no real chat coming through. Might be one of those short ones. Actually, there's a cricket match in the States on at the moment, playing down in Texas. Hello, Shipwreck says, the last few shows have been great, miss them live. Thanks for the support. Yes, those topics interest me. It's the future. That's for sure. Really good. As you can see, I'm struggling. Wonder if I can call it before 10 minutes. It's 4:20 now. That's funny. I'll give it a bit longer for sure. Just in case. Genetic Memory Farm says, all right, topic. When do you pull plants down? When do you pull plants down? I end up pushing things as long as I can, teetering on the edge of botrytis. Also, I am under LED. How about everyone else? When do you pull your plants down? Well, in BC, for the dispensaries, you can pull it down at day 45, day 50. Was common from my inspections, from my microscope. For me, if I'm making seeds, if I go to day 60 cultivar, I'll let it go to day 70 just to make sure that they're fully cooked. So I don't like getting immature seeds. I like getting nice big dark tiger striped ones, very mature, ready to show their hybrid vigor, sprout out the radical. When do you pull it down? If I was needing some, if I was been on rations or had a plant problem or something like that, I'd pull it down early at, say, day, I'd have to look at it, depends. Well, day 50, day 55, I've pulled some down if it's day 60 cultivar. I've also got one that has an ELF dominant gene in it, which is an early flowering gene, and that's day 50. It's fully ripe. All the amber pistils, they're just all, everything's gone. The whole plant's dead, not bud ripe. It's the plant's mature. So it's day 50. In general, if everything was going well, over day 60 cultivar, I'd take it to probably day 60, day 62, day 63, just a little bit after to make sure it's fully ripe. If it does go through some like ethylene, heaps of ethylene to finish it earlier, you can, if it's all, the trikes are all amber, I wouldn't be too happy with that, because I like them to be a little bit clearer, not fully amber where everything's just dead. So it's, I've sort of rambled on actually a fair bit. Did that help? There's been a few questions since then. I was just looking outside when I was saying all that stuff. When do you put your plants down? I push it as long as I can go since genetic memory farms, teetering on the edge of botrytis. Yep. Also under LED. Yeah, I hope that helped, mate, with that explanation. Let me know if that didn't. So may say there's a, oh, well, that's pretty cool. I don't find cloudiness is a good indication under LED. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Well, I usually go for bud maturity and then plant maturity. So the different buds at different levels and stages, they can, it doesn't really get consistent for me, where it's like a nice, what do they call them, scrogs. When it's everything's going to be ripe at the same time, I don't do the scrog thing. So it's different levels or a different ripeness, I suppose you could say. So that's pretty interesting. You've noticed that, mate. Good on you for your picking up on that. I usually go for the bud maturity first, and then I'll look at the overall plant maturity. That's my indicators, I suppose, for picking it. I feel like I'm not answering your question properly, GMF. Shipwreck says, I usually wait until I see a bunch of leaf die off and the buds visibly stop swelling. I don't even bother looking at trichomes anymore. Yeah, I don't get out in the microscope to look at the trikes usually either. Ethos is a really cool company in the States which gives phytosanitary certificates. But they're in Australia based. Okay. Very good. Maybe they've put a branch here finally. That's cool. Nice one. Shipmix is usually around week 9 to 10. I pulled them too, says Shipwreck. LED as well, by the way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's pull up some bud pics. See we're on bud maturity. Let me just get to that section. Where did I look in there? Let's just go to rad bud pics. Rad bud pics. Oh, you probably want to see what I'm looking at. Let's show you this. Oh, GNF's made a comment. It sounds like you go by your time, not necessarily by observation traits. Thanks, Aussie. Yeah, I'll elaborate a little bit more with some pictures. Entire screen. This is this will do. Maybe some good ones in here. So, day 56. There's a lot of late flowering here. Where's Newcomb? That was day 41. I'll start from the start. It's hard to read. Day 48. See how the anthers here are very dead? That red one. It's amber as. Or pistils. That's a sign of the buds mature. Let's keep going. Yeah, see down here? That's a sign that that little section, or the calyxes or bracts, are mature. See how this one's still growing? These are still growing. So I'd let this go a little bit longer. Newcomb. Please, if someone can get Newcomb. Oh, let me know. I miss Newcomb so bad. Day 49. It's still growing. This used to finish early though. But anyway, that's what this photo shows. Over day 4 to 52. Let's get some plant ones instead of buds. Ping zoomed in, very good. 53, because this is all in the 50s. Look at that. That's Newcomb. And they are not seeds. Those bracts are swollen so much they look like pineapples, and that's why I miss it. It was just so impressive. Look, day 34, and it's looking like that size. Good on you, Newcomb. He'll come back one day, friend. God's white banana kush. And that was under HPS. Showing those beautiful pink, amber. Oh, no, more pink. You can see if I zoom right in. Look at that. You can see the cells at the base of that. Excuse me. Pretty rad. It's a few days on, from day 38 to day 43. Anyway, back to the point. God's amnesia. Gosh, that was stinky. But see how this bud is, I'd say, mature. And if I was to zoom in, we can see clears, milky, or clear and not see-through. So see how that's milky? So this is pretty good. So I'd let this go another few, personally, for me, another couple of days, and then that would be ready. But that's only day 50. But still, it's giving indication that this bud is mature. So I'd go back and look at the plant, and there'd be still some white action going on. So that's why I'd give it a little bit longer. Let's try and zoom back a bit. Enough of this. Gorilla Glue. Gosh, that was strong. There we go. So you can see on this one, that's extremely ready. So it's gone through its senescence phase, which is when it's starting to eat itself, and it's using all its nitrogen and magnesium in its pigments, and then it starts to die off, and then so it'll go back, and then it'll go into the sugar leaves, into these leaves. So you have to time it right for harvest. Well, I like to time it right, so it just looks like this. So it's just gone into the sugar leaves, and it's pretty much eaten all of its nutrients out of it, so it's flushed, as clean as you could hope for, And yeah, I've done that for a while. Anyway, about rightness. Yeah, so that's an indication for me from just the senescence, I suppose, without looking at the bud maturity. Or that's a good plant maturity visual, the senescence. Hello, friend. Look at that little thing. No, it's a huge frog. That thing was the size of my hand. No, it wasn't. Back to let's look at the zoom out. Look how impressive that is. It was so potent. Look at the gaps in that. Virtually none. That's it zoomed out. Look at that. I love that light greenish look. Yeah, and that's the ash you'll get. It's a bit wider than the paper because the paper will absorb all of its stuff in it. That was pretty good too, but we're sort of looking at maturities. And you can pick them a bit early too. Like this was, you can still see it's got growth in it, but it was picked. So it's still fine. It's still got the active ingredients that you want. No. Like that, I probably would have picked that at day 60, but it still would have had more active growth in that brax there. That's it. Okay, I've got to find where there's some bigger ones. Oh, I didn't see any comments. I'm sorry. Devlin, yeah, I think cloudiness is a good indicator. Agreed. I have had Nukin in what? I haven't had Nukin. Yeah, definitely. Yes, please. It's a BC thing. The BC bank has it. I'm pretty sure. I have some of that. You have fair income. Well, that's actually, you see in the middle of the screen in there, where the pointer is, that's it there. I wonder if, have you got that expression? That's the only one I've ever had that's got that expression. It's pretty amazing. How was the nose on it? It was I'm spewing to have lost it, mate, because it was the only cultivar that I've truly had that's, well, if you get bananas, put it in a bowl and mush them up like you're going to give them to a baby, and then stick your nose into it and smell it. That's what it smelt like when I used to rub the buds. Like unheard of, strong as banana terpenes. Like brilliant, brilliant. So sad to have lost it. Beautiful, cute frog, he reckons. Yes, that was very nice. All right, I'll get back to zooming out. I'll show you another indicator. Let me find some other zoomed out ones. So some big tree looking ones. Where would I find them? Maybe I could show some videos. Let's show an old video. What's this video? I'll get it. Day 70. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I can't show you this one. That's day 70. Day 50. Where's the one at the start? The day 21 would be good. Day 2. That's a bit early. Day 40. Day 30. Let's see what this is. What, day 40? Day 40 is a bit better. A GIF. Sharing screen. That was a little scrub.
Day 40.
All right, let's get some zoom action. Good zoom. Thank you. So I was to pause it there. You can see they're nice and tight. They've still got obviously swelling to go, but the senescence hasn't started. So not even interested. So it's as its growth stage for day 40, it's, well, they could be a bit bigger, to be honest, between you and me. But I think these gaps were 4 inches, so that must be an inch. So what's that? 2 fingers. So, okay, that's all right then. See, you saw a lot of growth here. The ambers are all still white, still cranking up there. Look at that. Bud maturity still high. Still not high. Still hasn't matured, you know what I mean? But overall, it looks pretty good. Oh, hang on, here we go. See if he's right with his... Oh, 1 finger. Oh, is that to there? Oh, okay. So maybe 1.5 fingers size. That's good. See how you put it behind it. Just a rough indicator, because at different growth stages it tells me what they should be like. And it's a good indicator for a plant's sick too, because it won't ever get to that stage because it'll be going through its immune system before its growth and development stages. And that stage will probably be producing, won't be producing these beautiful bracts or flowers, it'll be producing all the seeds. So when it stresses out, that's what it does. It wants to reproduce. Yeah, all right. Leaves are all right. Is that a little bit of potassium on the outside of it, maybe? Still, it's in senescent stage, so that's fine for me. I don't mind. It's starting to look like that. Day 40, maybe, probably day 40 it should be. Yes, and then 20 days worth of nothing. Approximately, that might be the program for this program. I should see if there's any questions while I'm doing this. That's not very clever, is it? All right, stop sharing. Keep forward. Oh my, that sounds heavenly, says Shipwreck. You might have just pushed me to pop in sooner. Yes, or maybe save them to swap for some pink TV or whatever. May says, got a new medical strain, 4 years. Oh, that's needed in Australia. That's for Blimenshaw. El Camino Santiago Road, 27%. Sounds pretty good. It's a hybrid. And packs a punch, he says. It costs, oh wow, $200 an ounce. That's actually affordable, isn't it? Dead set. Does it have its terpenes profile? That sounds rad. Wow. And Santiago. That's cool, mate. Very good. Need that cheaper stuff that still can do, still get you there, not taste like dryness stuff. I'll try and get to another one. Day 50. All right, here's the same one, day 50. All right, let's just show this. So that one, day 40, day 50. Is it sharing? Oh, not sharing yet. Present. Sharing. Day 50. Pink. This is Island Pink. This is so sweet. I was nearly going to rename it Sweet OG because it's just amazing. It's just the parent of Pink Death Bubba. Or one of the parents, of course. That's one plant too, might I add. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks for the zoom. You can see how this bud's starting to get mature. You can see the anthers there, the pistils. They're starting to lose their vigor and senesce themselves. The leaves are starting to senesce nicely. Could be a little bit more though. See, it's still retaining too much nutrients. I think this is 2 plants. It's one there and one there. Actually, it was. But it is, mind you, it's day 50. So yeah, I suppose. But I'd like it to be a little bit further on. So this might have extended over, or this might have been a seed run to do that. So if you're going to do a seed run, you want to start senescence about day 50 instead of day 40. because remember it takes about 25 days for seeds to go mature, and just in case it got fertilized a bit late, you want those ones to be mature if it's going to put the effort in. Oh, that's pretty nice, isn't it? You can see a lot of amber action there. That might be the reflection of the light too. And when if you're grading the if you want to grade the trichomes, the leaves go more mature and more amber first than the bracts do, or the calyxes. So if you want to do it, you shouldn't be looking at this part to tell you the state of it. You want to be looking at the bracts. There's a bit there, stuff like that. It's pretty important. I stuffed up for quite a few. I've had my microscope now portable for, oh wow, 19 years. And I used to do in the leaves and think not much of it, and then I worked out, oh wow, there's a difference, like a large difference in the maturity levels, because the leaves only last about 45 odd days, then they're done. Oh, that's the end of that one. All right, let's see if there's another video while we're onto it. Showing video day 50. Let's look for a day 60. Oh, day 62. It says harvest. Okay. So let's see if the senescence went all right on this. Day 62. There it is. You see the HPS up there. Oh no, could have went a little bit longer. Maybe this was pulled for a reason. It looks pretty healthy though. See, the senescence hasn't had much action there, has it? Oh, and they're tiny as. They're extremely tight though. That won't shrink upon its. Not stop showing off. It's not 3. It's just an indication though, because I suppose, hang on, there it went out to there. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that. But all these are really tight because the CO2's high. So when they dry, they don't shrink. Actually, I think this was, can I say that? There you go. Still a little bit of growth there in that bract. But in general, see, it's all shrunk and all. They're all shrunk and they just drop off. Back in the day, I used to think there was heaps of, if I got in the end of the bag, in the bottom of the bags, there'd be a lot of this hair, and I used to think rad. I used to collect it and roll joints or whatever out of it and think, yeah, this is so good, must be so strong. And then I learnt with my microscope, there's no trichomes on them. So that was a good placebo hit. That's a bit better. Yeah, I don't know if that really helps. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's underneath it. There you go. It was 2. 2 underneath. Let's see if there's any problems. Look at that. Actually, that was pretty. That could be tidied up with, couldn't it? What's all this stuff down here doing? Jeez. Fella. I like his IPM. Look at that. That was made from the handles of milk bottles. You know, your little milk bottle, you handle, you think, what can you do with this plastic bit inside? I thought it'd be a nice little holder. Stick it in the soil and put me little cut-off strips. See the totes? It's good size. Yeah, look at that. That needs to be fair income cleaned up, doesn't it? There's a lot of, because all that's going to lower the airflow through there in late flower, which is going to rise in the chance in botrytis, like GMF said before, because there's not enough airflow, so the humidity has a chance to rise, and then the windfall will go down, which is what the fungus likes, and then all of a sudden, bang, it germinates, and then it takes over. So, yeah, that needed to be under that tables need to be looked at more. Oh, there was 2 layers of scrog. Did you see that? I should only do 1. Yeah, there was 2 layers of scrog there. There's one there. There's one up there. There's the first layer, the training layer, and the flower layer goes on top. I wonder what he's saying. Let's listen to this fella. Actually, you might be able to hear it. Oh, that was a nice looking one, wasn't it? Since day 60.
There's day 62.
Day 62. Very good. As it's been said. Hey, wrapped up. Nice, it's very nice. Thank you. Thanks, Shipwreck. G'day, Raptor. Nice to see you. They are some beefy little. They were little chunky little numbers. I like them to hit the floor and like bounce or make a noise. You know, like when they're dry. Watching the mailbox. Delivery for mine. Yes. Woo, what are you getting? What are you getting, Raptor? I betcha. Hey, how you going today? Cheers. Cheers. Shipwreck says, my one plant in the back corner always looks like that for me. But isn't it interesting how you've got different regions in your setups? So one at the front left will be doing, it might get, always grow a little bit smaller. One in the back left might grow a little bit bigger. Just these little pockets of microclimates I find interesting. Yeah. Right, it says, I remember those beauties. Yes, lovely, lovely, lovely plants. I think so nice. So we're just talking about bud maturity and when to pick plants. Plant maturity, I suppose, even. What else can I bring up on plant maturity? I wonder if there's anything else I can. I'll just have a quick look through my sections. Oh, Bluekin was a nice one. Anyway, let's get back to the plant maturity. Try and find some things to do with that. Pollinating, plant maturity. Actually, let's have a look at another spot. This will be, these are like this one. I haven't really shown this one before. This is in Canada. Actually, no, let's show another one. Not that little, is it? Oh, that was pretty cool, though. No, I'll go to the next one. These are better videos. So here is, where's the chook house room? CP. Day one.
Day one.
All right, I'll show you day one. And this is under a ACMPR license in Canada. Raptor said, also got some Metaharosium and Bouvier bassiana. Oh, well done. Oh, goodbye, Thrips. See you later, Thrips. You're under attack and you're going to be beaten. That's cool. Oh, for sure. Also run 2 or 3 different. Oh, yeah, you found the little microclimates. Funny. Oh, yeah, I'll see that. Let's have a share screen and have a look at this. This is under ACMPR license in Canada. So this is day one. So they just got flipped. So they've been transplanted into these, I think they're 3 gals, a while ago, and veg there so they can fill out their pots. And once they got to the nice height, which is about the certain height that I am at, I know, for the room, because it has to be adjusted. Oh, look at the parameters. You're going to get floor, canopy, and room parameters. Floor, ceiling, canopy height, yeah, and room. Yep, there's a heater. That's a bad spot for the heater. I'll show you this. See how it was put down the bottom there? What happened was that started going to these plants and they didn't really like it. So I ended up moving that to the ceiling, and that's where it stayed. So it was a good spot. I just dialed it in to the ceiling. But yeah, it's a bit jungly. But anyway, that'll do for that one. I'll show you the advancements of that. CP day 15. Here, this will spin these out. So this is the same. This is 15 days later. Oh, this is before the strip. What a shame. You should see it afterwards. Actually, I wonder if I paused it. No. You can see it's lemon jungly as. This would have been Death Bubba and Gorilla Glue. All right. I'll show you a photo from the. Here, this is a pretty good one. Here's the before and after. So that's the before, as we just saw. That's after. Look at that. Look at that strip. That's it, like a, I don't do nothing like that anymore. That's a, I'd call that a 90% defoliation. And might I add, there was no problems. So if you had like thrips or some sort of pest problem, you'd no worries do this. But I didn't even have that problem. It's just another technique I was trying out. But yeah, some mylar. You know, back to the video. Stop sharing that. Just want to show the update of that room growing. CP day 21. Yeah, all right. This is after the strip 2, so you can see there's been 6 days of growth. So it's just starting to grow back now. After 6 days, it's looking very jungly still. Lucky that there's quite a lot of fans on, so everything was moving. See how it's always a bit nervous? That's what you want. Except for this back corner. Urgh! That's where a problem happened. All right, there's day 21. Looking pretty nice too, aren't they? I'd say it's good growth for day 21. It's nearly about a finger. It's probably about 5 to 6 days advanced. These were huge buds, these ones. All 4 finger wide. No. Where's the CP? Day 40, here we go. So it's jungled up. So this is 25 days later after that last one. And see, they're looking nice. For day 40, this is the double day. So whatever it shows here, that's maybe 1.5. That one, I'd call it fingers. So I'd expect 3 in 20 days' time. That's usually what happens. If there's good health. I saw a deficiency at the back there. Geez, that's looking, it's a bit even too healthy. So it's a bit too greeny, maybe phosphorus toxicity. Or it could have been a light problem because that's a bit lighter there. I'm just saying, fast forward a bit. All right, what's this day? 40. Okay, let's get up to the, yes, parameters are sweet. Look at those parameters. 26C and 59. Absolutely perfect as. All right, let's go for day 50. And then I'll show you day 60. And I'll get back to the questions or whatever. Let's see if there's any. Oh, look at those. Day 50. See how fast this might have been a bit of wind burn, just from how much they were shaking them. That's a little bit of heat burn there. But in general, it's not too, oh, look at the tips. It might have just been that plant. What happened in the center there? Yes, very tight there, extremely tight, because the CO2 was set at 1500. That's looking a bit sad looking. So there might be a substrate issue there. That's powering on. See how they weren't, the ambers weren't real. I like them when they're standing just stiff and pom-pom effect, I call it, when it's just all looking very But this is finishing. This is in senescence though. I'm not sure the cameraman, a bit shaky. Maybe it's what's That's all right. Let's go day 60. Yeah, very good. Day 60. This would have been, didn't say H next to it, but was in the dark. Oh, this would have been just before it was chopped down. So they're senescing all right. I'd like it a little bit more, but these still smoked super clean, super nice. Come on, focus, I'm saying. Focus. Took too long. Here we go. See how fat these buds are. Oh, they're 4-fingery. Good. That's how it should be. Perfect. From that to that. Good size. That tells me that those genetics are pretty sweet. It has had a chance to maximize its genetic potential. Wasn't using any of its growth and development for fighting off anything. What are you saying, mate?
Big, look at that one right beside us, nearly in this section.
Oh, the foxtailing.
Yeah, I like this gorilla girl at the back.
This gorilla glue was strong. That's one of the. Look at that.
This chunk is
that's nice in essence. See how that's heaps better.
nice and tight. And the pink didn't turn too pink.
That's island pink.
It's too much frost on it. It's coming down. Say goodbye. Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're kidding. It's not sharing. Dead set. I'll have to show you again. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll have to show you again. What a shame. How do I play that again? I see it sharing. Sorry about that.
Day 60.
Here you go. Oh, all those things I was explaining.
They fattened up quite nicely. It's a three. Oh, here he is. The 3-fingery. Oh, nearly 4. Oh, it is 4. Look. There you go.
So it should
Nice.
be. Yes. Lovely.
One, two. Fox-tailed off its head. Probably a bit too big. Look at that one right beside us, nearly in this section.
I like cutting. They're good to cut off them.
Yeah, I like this gorilla girl at the back.
They're good to put in your one hooters, the foxtails, when they grow like that.
This chunk is nice and tight. And the pink didn't turn too pink. It's too much frost on it.
Actually, this one.
Yeah, I like this gorilla.
No, this one was God's White Banana Kush. That, I'm pretty sure. From the senescence, they remember that. That's how they got. Very good. Hey, Kelly, how you going? Didn't see any video. Oh, yeah, thanks, Shipwreck. I see it now. I'm just cruising up. Oh, yeah, Raptor's got AK-47 cross sour green bubba, black line bubba. Very nice. It sounds yum. Tasty as. Shipwreck says, I always wanted to experiment with different spectrums, but never got around to it. Definitely interesting. It sure is. Yes. That's another topic in itself. That it's really cool. I've got some really cool. Ask that in a few, like next show, Shipwreck, about different spectrums, because I've got some good studies on different spectrums on what they do to the leaves. Like anyway, didn't see any video. Yeah, thanks, mate. I wish I saw that. I haven't got my tablet going, usually where I see questions. You're supposed to be sharing. Yeah, I am. Uh-oh. Yeah, uh-oh, all right. I've seen the first video of the heater, but not the rest. The rest? No. So you didn't see day. So pretty much all that stuff what you didn't see. Is that correct? That's really bad. I've heard of people claiming that red 700 to 760 nanometers will shorten flower development times. Never looked it up. It's called an Emerson effect. That's what sunset does at that spectrum. So it puts plants to sleep. So if you have those, it will shorten the flower time in the sense that it's put it to sleep quicker, so it can get more of its Kelvin-Benson cycle, or its it can enter its different stages quicker. It's like a way of entering it into its pathway. By controlling it by hormones, you can control it by light. So that's how that one works. Yeah. Nick Kelly. There you go, Nick Kelly. Nice to see you, mate. Aussie, we can't see. What? Damn it. Do you want me to play? Tell me, do you want me to play all those again? Oops, yummy. Did you even see the strip of the before and after? I've got to show that, because that was amazing. Just while we're at it, because I don't usually show these BC things that I've gotten up to. This. Now it's sharing. Did you even see this? That was the room with the heater. That was stripped. Before strip, this is after strip. Wow. I'd call that 90% defoliated. That's crazy. Yes. So really, you didn't see enough. I pressed the wrong button then. I'm sorry. Snowed in. I should keep on topic. That's a really fun video though. When I was snowed in once, but it was a harvest day. It was pretty cool. Actually, here you go.
How hectic this place is. This place is.
I'll just have a laugh, everyone. This is in a my RV in Canada.
How hectic this place is.
So that's up the front, little bedroom. That's in the centre. Ready to go in. There's a drawing up the top left. There's the veg. That'll get me a copyright. Listen there. Ready to go into the blue room. And notice this blue room, it's 4.5 feet total tallness. So that includes lights and pots you've got to put in. Talk about training. Yes. It was pretty good. No, that'll do. What else do you want me to share? Now that's how to use an RV. Yes, it is. There's a video on that YouTube hates. They've demonetized it as much as they can. It's had so little views because of its title. I don't care. Big difference now. It's not really, hell yeah. The stripping, Suze didn't even see the harvest. Yeah. Did I show you the harvest of that room from the start? I showed you that. I want to show you the whole crow. Let me know. This is what I wanted to share. Share screen. Wow. I went and showed it. The day 1, day 21, day 40, and day 60. So that's what I showed before, and I'm pretty sure I re-showed this day 60. Yes, because I said about the banana, that was the banana kush ones and the sizing of them. Putting in the 4 finger buds. Yeah. I hope I showed this one again. That would have been Death Bubba or Gorilla Glue. Actually, that was Death Bubba side, this stuff here. But it's not real purple, is it? That must have been a summer when the temperatures were hot. Didn't have a chance to release the anthocyanins. because Death Bubble was always crazy for just purpling up really decently. Actually, so was Gorilla Glue. So yeah, this is definitely in the summer with the air conditioning cranking. That was God's White Banana Kush, those ones then. This is Island Pink. So that was what I wanted to really show on that. So we're talking about the maturity of the plants. H-Day is another one. That's not in that. It's in a different region. See another one. Another H that's in that room. Oh, there's a little bedroom. That's pretty snazzy. But we're talking about bud maturity. CP here. Here's another one. Another H-Day. Oh, look, see, it's a bit colder then. Anthocyanins action. If you're interested in unlocking your temperature for your plant, bringing out the potential colors in it, I made a good video on anthocyanins. And I did a long experiment over a few years on how to do it. Look at that. That's bloody nice.
Who's this one? That's Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue. See how that bud maturity could go a bit longer? But see, they're big enough. So look at sagging out. It's big enough. That's so solid.
3 fingers.
Easy 3 fingers. Easy. I'd say 3.5 on that, and the same width.
Some nice chunks. Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue. Far out.
This side's the Death Bubble.
See, that could go a little bit longer too, but this was the day it was pulled down.
Very good. I've already got rid of the pink. This is the G13 cross ash plant.
Oh wow. G13 cross ash plant. That smoked nice too. That was chocolatey. Yes. Frosty as. Keep going.
Right,
and its senescence is quite good. That plant maturity is good because it's senescing all right. If they were taken off, see, it started to go a little bit into the sugar leaves or the higher up leaves. It was a bit smaller in the plant.
Beautiful, right? Where's that foxtail?
Show us the foxtail. What are you talking about? Oh, well, look at it go. Now, that's a foxtail, isn't it? Holy mackerel. You can cut that in half, and that's 2 hits in your 1 hitter. It's good the room wasn't too hot, so the air conditioning must be working all right. See, there's not too much canoeing in the leaves.
Let's day 60.
Day 60. Very nice. I think that's about all, huh? Because plant maturity, well, plant maturity. They're not real mature. They're quite up there, though. I'll show that. So this, we want to have a lot of airflow going through. See how this is starting to just enter its flower stage? Oh, no. Well, it should be just, there was a defoliation done to allow air through it because it's just entering its flower stage. Doing plant maturity. That'll do. Oh yeah, golf ball buds. Yes, they were quite big. Good stuff. Fun times. Yeah, nice close up. Thank you. Put your questions in for chat or your comments and stuff like that for the 30-second delay, because I was trying to keep it on topic for the you can talk about anything else, but I was trying to keep it on topic with the plant maturity and flower maturity. That's how I'll word it in for the people, because they like to strike me back saying, no, we're not going to share this video. We're not going to give many people access to the videos. It's got too much recreational bad things in it and stuff like that. they haven't acknowledged the medicinal side of it that I very much try and focus on and try and tell about the bad side of it. It's so unfortunate. But anyway, that's what the rules are. Got to abide by the rules, eh? Yes. So it's 55 minutes. It's been pretty good. I don't have much more to talk about the plant maturity, or much more I can comment or add to it. I think it's a shame a lot of those pictures didn't come out right. Sorry. Yeah. So that's all today's topic is going to be. It's just on plant and flower maturity. How to tell the difference and when to do it, why to do it, why you'd want to do it, and didn't really bring up actually the point of pests and bugs. If you have pests and bugs, you can pull it early. It's still got the active ingredients in there that you want. It just mightn't be up to the percent that you want. So instead of it being, say, 20 or 30%, it might be 10 or 15%. So it's still going to do something. It might be one that you want to put in an extraction bin, for instance, so you can gain more out of it. Because, when we combust it or we vape it, we're only getting about 15% of what we could possibly get out of it. There's a lot that's going to waste. So by eating it, you get that's why you get more ripped when you eat it, or more affected, is because it can absorb most of it in your body. Hello, sunshine, right when I'm finishing. I hope you're doing well, sunshine. What was I talking about then? The effects of it. Oh, that's right. Pests and bugs. So you can pull your plant maturity earlier. Like if you have spider mites, you might want to go what I've done, I've gone vacuum as much as I can right to the last minute until I could, and then I could harvest that way. But what have I done? So with botrytis, if you see a little bit of grey mold, I cut that out. Actually, I don't leave it in when I see it. I don't think, oh, quick, cut the plant. I cut that bud off or cut that bit of grey bit out, because when those spores, for it to reproduce, it's going to spread them across other plants and other areas. So that tells me that the humidity is too high, and especially growing big chunky buds, it's really hard for that reason, because the air humidity might be 60%, but inside the buds it might be 80 or 90%. That's why you're getting all this unwanted growth. Poison growth. Oh God, so there's a fox like in front of me. Gee, it's red. I can't show you. Bushy tail. So by harvesting earlier, you can, from having pests and disease and bugs and all sorts of problems like that, you'll see the plant will it might start and herm up, or start and want to reproduce itself, and you'll start to see little balls or the bracts that are going to reproduce the pollen in. Pollen sacs. So then you'll know that not much growth and development is happening, and you should think about pulling it early. And it might have a different secondary metabolite profile too, once you get all different bugs happening that it's not used to. So it'll change the profile of what you're used to. So the medicine that you're used to, it mightn't be the same because of that bug problem and from pulling it a little bit earlier. But you can do it. Well, I've done it. I've known other licensed producers that have pulled early from bug problems and still had something that they could put out. You don't want to spray, ever spray in flower, even though if the packet says you still do it. Good on them. You're going to be eating that or combusting it even at different temperatures, which might turn it into a poison or react with other chemicals. So don't bloom and spray to finish early. Just harvest if need be, learn from the mistakes, work out why it happened. Why did I get those bugs, or why was the humidity too high? Those things. brilliant learning curves. I've had to go through them all. Some have been costly, but big deal. They've been very educational, and I wouldn't call it a mistake. Mistakes if you make it twice, the same error twice. I consider it a good learning curve. If I make an error once, it's, oh, I'm not a computer. You know. Oh, Shipwreck says, man, I always end up with one plant that never looks full mature, and I end up pulling it early. Ha! Yeah. Yeah, see, there's nothing wrong with that. They've still got active ingredients that you want. It's not like you're pulling it 20 days mature, like only 2/3 of its growth cycle. They've gone through pretty much majority, so at least 3/4 of its growth and development. So by pulling it a little bit early, it's, oh well, it's, yeah, it could be better, of course, but at least you still got something. You're still able to get something, get a result, instead of throwing it out, bagging it, and trying to do what bad people do and sell their mold-ridden products and stuff, or zap them like the licensed producers have to do and get them under a certain percent. Ahoy! Cheers. Oh, wrong one. I wouldn't feel right spraying anything in flower, says Shipwreck. Yeah, those ones I leave until week 11. Yeah, the ones you wouldn't spray in flower, the maximum I spray up to is when there's about 2 to 3 bracts formed. So, you know, your calyxes, when you've got 2 or 3 that are touching, is my last day you could ever possibly spray. And the reason is because they're touching and they've got little air pockets in between them, and there's a chance for moisture to get in and raise the humidity and be higher, the higher water activity level, so that will start microbes to reproduce, to germinate, sorry, not reproduce. Well, they will too, but because there's a lot of spores everywhere, and it only just needs that bit of moisture for it to get into their favorable area, and they can start their growth and development cycle. So that's my cutoff time, and that's about day 18-ish is when that happens. So I've got enough action to warrant about that time. And it makes me feel good, because by what I'll be doing up until that day is by, I'll sort of point a bit, just spraying under the leaves, just IPM protection. I'm trying to stay on topic. Yeah, the plant maturity. Yeah, it's a big thing for spraying in flower. So many packets say that it's organic, it's safe, and you know what? It actually might be, but I don't want to risk mixing their chemical with whatever chemical's been produced on the plant, and then it's going into my body. I'd rather just not. I've treated it as medicine. I don't treat it to get me off or get anything like that. I want to help me and actually alleviate and help with symptoms and problems. I don't want to cause cancer, PGRs and other, well, from chemicals that you can get, dangerous. Shipwreck says, those ones I leave until week 11. Oh, yeah. Raptor Grow says, sounds close to my cut-off of day 14 days for seeing bud development. Yeah. Yep, yeah. Well, it's good that you guys have got cut-offs, that you'll know that after that stage it could be problems. It's scary. Actually, there was an experiment I wanted to do with cytokinins, because if you turn cytokinins, you can keep it into, it eliminates senescence. So I thought one way to get it on is to just rub it on the leaves, and that was an experiment I wanted to do in flower. But I wouldn't have sprayed the bracts, so I would have rubbed it onto the actual leaves itself to try and get it into the dermal tissue, into its system that way, to up the level. But yeah, I can't think of really any other time. Even foggers and that sort of stuff, I don't put them near or misters, humidifiers, I don't put them near the plants itself. I'll put them as far away so maybe the fan can grab it and spread it around the room or the tent or whatever it is in the legal spot to grow, just to get it around. That was good. Covered that. Covered why you'd pick the plant early. That's another reason why you can do it. Another, actually, this is a good thought, closing nearly thought, I suppose, is if you're going to pick the plant early, think about taking a cut if you haven't already got a cut, because you might, if you're picking it early, you can successfully climb up to week 6, or I have. If you go through that epigenetic change in plant, it might have a little bit of resistance into it. So by you cloning it later, it'll have a chance to go through its immune cycle and build genetic resistance. And then by cloning it, you can produce a plant that's going to handle those conditions that you just put the one through that suffered. That's another thought if you haven't got cuts or seeds, or if that's your thought pattern. If you want to keep that beautiful cut alive, because it's you found out now it's a keeper cut because it's chirped up, its growth and development, everything's looking good on it. That's just a thought too before it goes. But it's on maturity. You've Shipwrecks cloned in week 5. It was pretty fun to watch it go through the changes. That's interesting because, yeah, it does. For those who haven't re-vegged before, it's pretty easy to get roots out. It's just like a tissue culture practice with your oxen, and then it's got roots. You've got this sort of bud growing with roots, and then you think it's doing nothing for like solid 3 weeks. It's doing nothing, but it's still alive. And then at week 4, day 28, it'll go and start where a calyx is, where the bracts are. It starts to shoot from there. It differentiates the cell, redifferentiates the cell into changing into its pericycle cells. Yes, that's the growth, the shoot cycles, the shoot cells, and it produces them. And it's like Shipwreck says, it's cool to watch because you've got this, like, say if there's a bud with 10 bracts on it, 10 calyxes on it, nearly each one of them will shoot one out. So it's like it's got a humongous amount of nodes expression. A BRC gene expression branch, where there's multiple branches coming out of one node. That's what that's called. But it's pretty cool to watch. It's yeah, I agree. Re-vegging's fun. It's just a bit of a stress because you're getting up to sort of, especially if you haven't, I write dates and everything, but if someone hasn't written a date, they'll be going 3-4 weeks thinking, this thing's been alive for 2 months and it's not doing anything. But it might just be at the 4-week period. But yeah, something that you can do in late maturity for you. I haven't done anything after, I reckon, week 6. And that's probably early in week 6, I reckon, too, because they get pretty big then. Shipwreck says, it's perfect for a mother plant when all said and done. So many branches. Yeah. Big branch looking bushy mother plant. What else can be added to the plant maturity or bud maturity? Well, it's senescence. I'm not going through that. That's the phase I just touched briefly on. That's an important phase for the plant to go through. Oh, how about if you have to, this is, haven't to discuss this. What about if you've got to pull the plant early because you have to move, for instance? Oh, well, you might want to use some ethylene, and that will ripen the plant earlier. So how to get ethylene? You might get them from a bag of apples. Apples and bananas are the highest volatile release of ethylene. Pears, are in that bracket too. So just get a big bag of them, leave it next to the plant, and that'll release a lot of it that's touched. And also, if you're in winter mode, you can think about using a kerosene heater, because the kerosene heaters have molecules that are very, very similar to ethylene. And that was found out with the street lights back in the turn of the 19th century, the 1900s, when they had kerosene street lights, and they were wondering why the trees kept on ripening earlier. And that's the reason. And if someone has to move house, for instance, too, and they've got to pull their tent, whack it in. So if you're thinking, oh gosh, I've got to go, I'll have to leave here, it's at day 40. You're thinking, no, nothing's going to swell, not going to get any action. Well, you can put it through its growth and development stage, and then at if I have to be out by day 40, I'd be introducing ethylene at maybe day 30, and having 10 days. So it would have swollen up a little bit, because by day 30, you're going to get one finger. It's going to be about the size of the flower that you want. And then by the time it's finished with ethylene, there's a little bit of a stress to it, but it'll still it'll still be entering its senescent stage well and truly by then, and giving a little bit of finishing. So that's a point that I haven't brought up. That's good. Because you know what cytokines that is. It does the opposite. But I'll read what's said here. I've been there. Yes, mate. That's a rather relevant point, wasn't it? Never thought about ethylene. Would that give off CO2 as well? I think you're talking about the kerosene. I don't know. I don't know if that gives. I know that burning propane, for instance, that's a really good way to produce CO2, and it does it really, really fast. That's all CO2 burners are. They're propane with an igniter. They're like a big barbecue-looking thing that's set to a timer. That's all they are. I looked to actually make them because they charge top dollar for what they are for a high voltage ignition, PZO igniter. Would it put off CO2 as well? I'm not sure, but I definitely know if you want CO2, the gas burners are rad. Your barbecue propane, your LPG gas, that's the same. That's what they call propane in Australia. So it raises the level super fast, super duper. In my camper there, I had a cooker, and if the CO2 was too low, I'd always just turn it on for probably 3 minutes at the most, and the whole thing was up to 1500. But yeah, I don't know if kerosene would, to be honest, mate. It's a good little test. Put your CO2 meter next to the kerosene lamp. I couldn't do that. I don't have kerosene to do that test for you. Sorry. Yes, interesting stuff. Raptor says, plus you get to make banana bread. Yeah, there's a dual purpose for it, isn't there? That's right, mate. Or you can be maybe doing your edibles, or you can be decarbing. Raptor says, yes, propane gives you CO2 and H2O. Yeah, very fast. Like if for people that live in tight spaces and cook, they should have one of those. And if they have the wood heater, you need a carbon monoxide tester. So I used to have one of them, I remember, because I didn't want any problems, because there's a lot of odorless gas. CO2 is odorless. And I've had it very, very high. If it goes over 5,000 parts per million, it causes permanent brain damage. Permanent brain damage if it's up there. I've had my meter. Mine goes up to 5,000. I set my alarm at, I think, 3,500 or 4,000. But it goes close to it. I've had it when that meter goes off. I just open things up. So without that meter, it could have easily have gone higher than that. And I'm sure people that are in cabin fever in the north, their little cabins would have gone, especially with a couple of people in there. It's pretty scary, but I'm not going to go down that route. Shipwreck says, yeah, you don't want to mess around with CO2. Yeah. On my CO2 meter, it had the scale, and I wasn't really aware of it, to be honest. Permanent brain damage, that's so mega bad. You're a vegetable without entering that state and thinking that you're normal. It's and I do this for my health to maximize it. So I don't want to be doing the opposite. So it's a good practice. Yeah. The meter is, speaking of CO2 meters too, there's quite a lot out there, and you want to get one that's, well, I've had them for quite a few years, and I've always got the same one. It's a data logger. Data log CO2 meter. Really, there's no model number or nothing on it because it's a generic one. But it was still $150. But it does it's really accurate. Where I've got a few other CO2 meters, and they're not accurate one bit. One single bit. I think if you, the CO2 module itself is, they're $40. Because well, they're $40 if you want to go and make one yourself. So to get a machine that's already got it in it, that they've already programmed the stuff in it with the blah, blah, the plastics and all sorts, yeah, you'd be paying over $100, or at least that for one that's going to be reliable and accurate. So I'm glad I've tried spending 20 and $40 on little cheaper meters and stuff, and they might be good for other things that I've tested too. But yeah, the CO2 meter is quite exy, just like the UV meter and the solar radiation meter. Those meters are quite expensive, where the temperature and humidity, those things is relatively, well, it's cheap as $10-20. What was it, the solar radiation or the UV? Either one of those, but one of them was $300 for one of them when it broke. Wasn't real wrapped about that. Raptor says PSA, grow cannabis indoors to prevent CO2 sickness. Grow cannabis indoors to prevent sickness? What? That to prevent CO2 sickness? PSA grow cannabis indoors to prevent CO2 sickness? I thought that'd be the opposite. PSA grew outdoors to prevent sickness. Because inside, when they go through their night cycle, the plants, they exchange, they do the opposite. They respire CO2 instead of respiring oxygen. So that's why if you've got a sealed room and come in the morning, you'll see that your CO2 is really high, like 3,000, like mega high. So that's pretty interesting that they have sort of done it that way. Actually, one of the growers that everybody knows is common. That's how he uses his CO2. He doesn't put supplementary CO2 in. He's got large rooms, and he might do it now. I haven't watched his show for a while, but he just used to keep it mega sealed, so airlock sealed, and then they'd just use their respired CO2 from in their Kelvin Benson in the night cycle from the plants producing it, and he would yeah. But that's bad because high CO2 causes other problems in the plants, like it closes the stomata, which, there's all sorts of other problems. But yeah, that company grows their medical cannabis indoors to prevent CO2 sickness. I'd like to know why. To prevent it. Sickness. Oh, okay, no worries. You're trying to make that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, that, isn't it? And here's one question for everyone. I still haven't learned, or I know one question that for me to ask other tech people is, what's the terpene when the lights go out? What's the name of that smell we get? And people that have grown indoors, they know that smell. It's blooming distinctive. It's not a bad smell, but it is a terpene. Like geosmin is the earth smell out of your good soil, and the rain smell is petrichor. That's when you can smell the rain. I want to know what that terpene is. So that's one question I got back for everyone else. But I don't know. So I'm doing this stuff to... Oh, that chlorophyll smell. I wonder if it is chlorophyll smell. Something to do with the chlorophyll. Pigments aren't getting produced and they're not excited anymore, because under the microscope, the little chlorophyll, they dance around. You can see them. I wonder if it's to do with that, because they're not excited anymore, so they're spewing, and they put out a secondary metabolite where we can smell it. Wow. See? I love having cool people in the chat. You can help me with my stuff I don't know, or I'm not clear on. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. It's like a musty. Yeah, it's like a musty almost, isn't it? It's phytol. Phytol is a rad terpene that is one of the ones that acts upon the gamma pathway. which is like, it's an anti something, but it's one that really, really massively interests me for my health. But I don't know the name of that smell, but it's interesting. Soon, one day, by asking questions, someone will come up with it. And I like that chlorophyll suggestion, because it makes sense to me. They're excited. They're not excited. I've asked this in my plant science classes as well, to my university teachers. They don't know, because I get in on the forum. There's like group chats where you ask the teachers and the lecturers stuff about what's happening in class, and then they get back to you. They've never answered stuff like that. I love putting my tech questions in there, and I get no reply. But still, that proves to me that it's not cutting edge, but this is all a learning process, and a lot of people haven't been through those circles yet, and it interests me. What can be learnt out of it? How can we even use that? Imagine if that terpene that come out was phytol, and we can somehow collect that secondary metabolite when the lights go off. How cool would that be? And that's a major, major help for our body. All right, no. I don't think it's spelled phytol, the terpene. I'll just write terpene. Phytol, oh, is it a terpene? Okay. It's got, what is the phytol terpene? No. How does it act on our body? You probably want, I'll share the screen for this. No, wrong screen. There's Jono. You're a bit late, Jono. Just about wrap it up. Actually, I was going to wrap it up 20 minutes ago. We're up to phytol. It's a I'll just put anti what? Anti-inflammatory. I thought it done a lot more than that, but it's a strong one. That's probably why. Helps to reduce inflammation and relieve anxiety. There you go. That's why it's so important to me, that one. And that phytol, it doesn't exist very much. So well brought up, Renee. Hello, Jono, who cares? So much more there is, mate. That's why I love it wrapped up. This excites me, this science. It just keeps going on and on into medical cannabis and how to grow it and what we can get out of it and how we can manipulate it. It's fun as, and it's new to science. It's companies pay laboratories or universities to do studies. So they'll say, what's the smell name? They'll pay and all right, that's going to cost 100 grand. Then they'll pay the company that, and they'll get that one question answered. Then they'll write a paper on it, and that's how we learn. That's how I learn from other scientists that have done interesting topics. I've never written papers, but I've made videos because I'm disabled in my hands. So it's very unfortunate. But yeah, there's so much more to discover. That's why I love it, mate. And thanks for you cool people for helping with my research and with my journey as well. It reintegrates what I do by talking about it. If I had no one to talk about this stuff to, I wouldn't get any, rote learning, it's called. When you learn something over and over and over, it sinks in. I wouldn't have any opportunity to do that. So you cool folk come each week. I really appreciate it. John Who Cares says, do plants have natural terpene or can you bring them out? That's how they fend themselves off. Secondary metabolite profile is mainly to do with the plant protecting and defending itself. So yes, there's all sorts of ways to that, and that's a massive topic, mate. But do plants have natural terpenes? Yes, they do. That's why we get different phenos, which each pheno has its different terpene profile. You can smell and taste differently. Or can you bring them out? And yes, you can bring them out, and you can change them too. So by bringing out the genetic potential in the plant, or by putting out little bits of stress, you can alter the terpene profile. By different microbes, you can alter the terpene profile From Pink Death Bubba, I've had 3 expressions. So there's all sorts of ways you can, by manipulation. Yes, all sorts of manipulation through hormones, microbes, light. There's heaps of cool temperature. Lovely, it is lovely. It's great, this plant science stuff. Genetic Memory Farm says, from my understanding, soil smell is a combination of 2 distinct molecules, integrating geosmin and 2-methylizoborneol and irregular monoterpene. The smell you reference could be 2-methylizoborneol. Oh, okay. That's cool. I'd like people to add on to it, because science is science. Like technology gets improved all the time so they can make better machines. Microscopes are getting finer and finer so they can discover more things. And books get rewritten. And I'm all for that. And I just love hearing about just things like nutrient elements in a plant. It used to be 16, and then they added nickel, then it was 17, and then it was went up to 18, and then it went back to 17 because one of the 18s was a beneficial element, not an essential element. So it was just, science allows things to change, and I'm all for that. Me too, says Lene. GMF says, just small terpenes made from the plant and bonding favorable. Oh, yeah. Very good. See, the cool folk in chat, they've got some blooming science behind them too. I appreciate them, their help, their input. Wow. Yes. GMF's quite technical. I honestly thought it was just luck. Holy moly. By growing, I've only ever grown perfect grows how many times, or what my percent would be. I don't know, 30%, 30% that is, where all the other times has been some sort of a problem. I've had a lapse in one watering, one wilting, one problem with something, it hasn't been clean runs. So maybe 30% of the time. And in those times is when the plant puts out different secondary metabolites. So it's changed its expression. And that was what a pain specialist in Australia asked me, was why did his patient get a different feeling from the same, say, Gorilla Glue that they always get medically prescribed? And it was that was the answer, because the plant, or the mother plant, that is still the same, but the plant went through a different pathways to get to its end result. So by it getting stressed out, it activates stress things to de-stress it. So if its FL22 receptor is a receptor that detects the flagella in bacteria. So if that's triggered, it'll activate a different pathway, for instance. And if that wasn't there, that pathway wouldn't be activated. So by going down that pathway, it might go and think, all right, shit, to get rid of this, I've got to put out phytolterpene, and then that'll kill it. It's worked in the past. And so that's how it works, in short. Like fermenting, GMF says, it brings out the flavors of tobacco, coffee, and chocolate. They are more simple molecules combining to form more complex ones. Oh, see? And then over time, at temperature, these fermentations are modified by microbes like Lactobacillus, Planetarium, and modified by pH. Yes. Those Lactobacillus, they're very high from, I'm not going to talk about microbes. Then I'll ramble for too much longer. Jono, who cares? This? I would love to give it a crack. Okay. Raptor says, can stress be so intense on a plant that it permanently changes the plant's expressions? Does it code its profile? Yes. Does it, if you were to change, so it won't just be in the RNA, is it in its DNA? And there is good, I think the answer is yes. It'll epigenetically modify its profile. to allow for future problems that's already happened. Yeah, so that's by acting upon the plant's immune system, it triggers the RNA, which is the message. So it'll go through the gene, and the gene will get triggered, and it'll think, all right, how do I activate this response? So it'll then trigger the RNA, the messenger RNA, which sends the message, and that codes different pathways, and then that will get the action happening. So if it's a bigger event, it'll can cause the plant to actually mutate, and that's what you're sort of talking about when it mutates and recodes the genes differently. So when it mutates, it can go through, well, Mother Nature does it through events like big freeze and stuff like that. Tobacco's done it. They've got 4 sets of chromosomes in them, 3 sets. They got 4. They're polyploid, or more so tetraploid. But when they go through extreme events of stress, they can mutate. So they'll go back into itself, and they'll try and survive. And the plants are very, what's that word? Tissue culture word. And the plant's very susceptible. If it's very easily culturable, it's a totipotent plant. Yeah, that's it. Totipotent. So they're very totipotent in nature. So they'll generally try and keep their genes working, so it can plant be stressed. So I hope that helps. Without really going into it and showing you immune slides and all sorts of stuff like that. That'd be a good topic for another show. Can stress be so intense on a plant that it permanently changes the plant's expressions? I hope that helped, mate. Forced evolution. I always read about epigenetics. Jono, who cares, says. Yes, well, make sure if you plant, remember there's a cloning section on that too. Plant from the middle to just underneath the middle. If you don't want it, epigenetics, but if you do want it, clone from the top, and it pretty much has got full epigenetics into it. John, who cares? It's unreal. You can also clone it on to other plants, and it takes on its epigenetics. No, if you clone it onto another plant, that means that it will get fed through that plant. So by its vascular bundle with its xylem and its phloem, so anything that flows inside of that, which is bacteria and fungi too, will be transmitted to the other plant. But the other plant, it won't mix genes, so to speak. It'll still just keep growing normally. That's why they put out plants now called fruit salads, and they're an apple tree and an orange tree. You just graft them onto one base stock, and they form fruit salads. They're called. Pretty rad. People in tight locations, they can have multiple plants growing, and so that's a good way too for people to graft their medical cannabis. If their plant stock is low, they got a low plant count, they might want to put 2 or 3 genetics onto one mother plant. John, who cares? And essentially, you now have a new plant. Yes, cloning. No, what's it called? Grafting. Grafting's cool. Very cool. All right, 1.5 hours again. And I could have easily gone for more because this is a fantastic topic. It really is, with some cool people in chat. Just keeping it alive. Should nearly have I don't know. Let's say that. Well, is that it for today? I think it's been pretty good. I'll just recode it on the plant. Today's show will be called How to Extend the Plant and Plant Maturity and Flower Maturity, and those types of things. I think I'll reschedule it as something like that. Grafting is one thing I've always wanted to try, but it's a bit intimidating. Oh, it's a shipwreck. That's no good. And John Kev says, have you? Have you? Don't know what it means. Grafting. Yes. It's relatively, well, you know, if you cut a plant cross-sectional layer, and there's two ways that the plant grows. It can grow slow or fast. So it'll have hollow stems, or it'll have wooded stems. So you just got to match those rings up, because that's the way that plant drinks and gets its nutrient flow around through it, its vascular bundle. So by cutting the sizes up, you match those sizes up. So if you go from, I don't want to go into grafting, just match the branches sizes up and cut on the angle and leave little amount of air time in between touching both of them together. There you go. Whack some electrical tape round her. She's apples, mate. Have you heard of the hops plant cross with cannabis? No, the hops plant is from the Cannabinaceae family, but I've never heard of it crossed. No, it's the easiest way to say it. They're both from the same family, but yeah, and that's when grafting does come into. See, it's another topic, the grafting, because you can't really. It's hard to mix species. You can't. It's harder. It's an easier way to say it. Raptor says it's very easy. Ship, just be clean and patient. There you go. No worries. Ship will be right for sure. He says. GMF says plants are the undisputed champions of biochemistry. Yes, totipotent in nature, where they just try to reproduce themselves and they want to try and stay alive, even in cold conditions. They're fantastic. And then, yeah, it's really cool. Halophytic conditions and all different types of rad stuff that can happen. 100%, mate. Nope. Well, okay. Maybe have you heard of that? GMF would know about the hops plant if it's mixed. He'd be the one that I'd be asking. He's got some. I won't talk about other people. Yeah, but yeah, that's my little understanding anyway. I don't know everything, that's for sure. I'm still learning. I'm still a scholar. My university starts, I think, next week even. No, 15th. I can't blooming wait. It's all about microbes this semester. And advanced microbes. It's going to be blooming so on point. It's really cool. Sounds like a party. It probably would be. Hey, yeah, that's right, because one of them would be the beer one, and the other one would be the medical relief one. So that'd be pretty funny how they do that. It sounds like a party. That's right. Wow. Yep, it exists. Looks cool too, he says. Very good. Thank you for the clarification. Yes. So no, I haven't heard of it, Johnny. Who cares? But it exists and it looks cool, apparently. Oh, yeah, it does. All right. People were saying it was fake, but apparently it's real. All right. I'll Google it. Hops. Hops and I'll share the screen. See what I'm looking at. I'll get rid of that. Hops and weed have distinctly ecologically, but remain connected through their Cannabinaceae family. That's not going to. Where's the blooming? What do have in common? Oh, what? Is that it there? Is that it there? That looks a bit, because that's the hops See how it's open at the top's frilly, but that's more tighter looking. Let's have a look here. There's no Tale of Two Sisters. That's not it. I can't find it. What I was supposed to put in the search engine. Oh yeah, what about this? Is a little bit better. Here we go. That's looking horrible. So, where's a healthy one? TCA yield in. I reckon it's this one. Geez, they're a bit loud outside. Come on, load it up. Oh, there's one. That's it there. This looks like a sativa with one leaf that's been re-vegged. It's the same website. Oh, that must be what everyone's looking at then. That must be it there. I wonder if it's variegated like that, or if that's its senescence, or if it's unhealthy. Welcome to Jurassic. Oops. Okay. Looks like I might put this in the title then too. Oh, is that it there? Is that the fluffy looking? That's got trichomes on it. You can see them glowing back. That's it there. That's it there. Without even knowing it, I reckon this is it. I'll zoom in. That's it there. That's what I can distinctively say, I reckon. Is this what I'm supposed to be looking at? Because you can see the trichs always glisten back. They're bloody small, but they have still crossed it. So it mightn't be very medicinally active. It might be, there's the other question. It's probably under, I'd say 2 or 3%. Like liverwort. You know, liverwort has THCA produced on its plant tissue as well. I wonder if that's it. Let's see what the cool folk in chat say. Stop sharing. Yeah, that's right. Reminds me of tobacco. That's the raddest episode. That his tobacco plants. It's so cool. They are. Shipwreck says they are beautiful from the pictures I just looked up. Oh, what should I look up then? I'll show everybody. What was the drone? What was done through epigenetics? It tastes like grandma. Search. Oh, thank you, Raptor. Response hybrid. No. Yeah, that won't come up. Oh, hang on, it's got hops in the middle. All right, I'll try it. Okay. Let's try it. And this will have to be the last bit. So keeps coming up the same one from that Trichome Institute. There's one down here. This looks like a baby plant. I don't think I'm struggling. There's that same flower before. Hybrid, that was on that same website, that information. I'm just getting the stuff off that same website. I'm sorry. Let them grow together. Well, let's see. Fair income. All right, I give up. Hands are getting a bit sore. I'm going to stop sharing. Search looks pretty cool. The purple one was the one I seen. Very good. Well, they have successfully done it now. They just got to do some breeding techniques to increase its medicinal values. That interested me for a while, to see what other plants could take the graft, because it's kind of like a weed. And if you match the branch sizes up, as long as the plant can, have its vascular bundle, it can produce nutrients and water when the different plants need it. Well, you can't match a cactus up with a weed, because it'll feed differently. It'll use different water restrictions and stuff like that. But other plants, apple tree, for instance, or it interests me anyway. It's non-family related grafting. Well, that's about it. An hour 46. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for contributing. Thank you for your ears and your cool words. Without you rad people in the chat, this wouldn't even be a show. I would have ended it an hour and a half ago. So my hat off to you. Thank you again. And I hope that you can all be here next week, because I really appreciate it. You make the show. I just have some knowledge to input, but without you, I don't know what I'm talking about. You just give me direction. Good stuff. Yes. Thank you. Thanks again. Please bring your difficult questions and your cool topics that we can elaborate on next week. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend. Yes. I know it, yeah. I'm picking up what you're laying down. Thank you for everybody's nice words. Appreciate it. Everyone has fun too. So I hope to see you here next week. Happy breeding, happy growing, and good health to you all. Bye-bye. Laters. Isomerizations. Bye-bye. Thank you for your nice words. Cool people.